Understanding the subject to investing cycle, real estate seller financing cycle. Now, in today's episode, I'm going to talk about seller financing, owner financing, subject to wrap, creative financing, and all the other creative strategies out there like options and lease options and so on. And because there's a cycle, okay, there's a cycle, and the cycle looks like if you ever been to an ER for a heart attack, or if your parents or family members ever had a heart attack, if you've ever been into their room, if they've been hooked up to a machine, you'll notice the device that monitors their heart does a little beep, goes beep, 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 and it goes up and down just like that. And that's the story of life. The way that happens inside of your heart is the same way that happens in the stock market, in the real estate market, in the gold market, in the bond market, because everything is a pattern that's already existing on earth, and we just have to be aware about it. So the same way that your heart goes up and down when you're measuring it in one of those electronical devices, the same thing happens in the real estate, but specifically seller financing, specifically subject to investing. Now, some of you may ask me, well, what is subject to investing? What is seller financing? Simply put, is when the homeowner is highly motivated and they're willing to become the investor's private bank. In other words, the investor does not need to get a loan from a Bank of America or Wells Fargo because the homeowner or the real estate owner of the property is highly motivated and distressed, and they're willing to become the investor's private bank, which results in these benefits. Number one, the investor does not have to have excellent credit or good credit or poor credit or any credit because no credit is pooled. Number two, the investor does not have to have all the cash to buy the property, the purchase price, because the homeowner is going to finance the deal for them in house. Number three, the way I negotiate and the way I teach my students is to negotiate a non-recourse loan that simply says that if the students default, if I default, or if the investor defaults, the homeowner can only come and get the collateral versus pursuing them personally because they never sign a promissory note. And there's so many other benefits that I can go into why it's great to have the seller become your private bank, but that's a whole different episode. So let's go back to the story, okay? Seller financing subject to investing has cycles. Okay. Now, that doesn't mean that if the market is up, there's not going to be motivated sellers, because it doesn't matter if the market is up, if the market is sideways, if the market is down, there's always going to be a pool of motivated sellers no matter what. And these pool of motivated sellers are going to be there no matter what part of the cycle we're in. Some of those ideas are, or not ideas, sellers that are always motivated no matter what the cycle is doing, what the real estate market is doing, is people that are going through a divorce, people that lost their job, there's people that inherited properties, and so on and so on. So it doesn't matter if the market is doing really, really good, like what we had in 2014, 2015, 2016, 2017. If the market is doing really, really good, there's still going to be a pool of motivated sellers. That's why there's always deals to be made no matter what the market is. But we're now in 2020, 2019, 2021. We're in the part of the market where there's going to be tons and tons of motivated sellers. So normally, let's say if their pool of motivated sellers is 10% of the population that's going to be motivated, that needs to use the pawn shop, like, because I'm the pawn shop of real estate. But that's the cycle when the market is going high. But now we're at the part where the market is going down, which really we're at the cycle of seller financing, because this is the time where there's too much inventory, too many motivated sellers out there because of forbearance programs. I don't care if you're talking about commercial, if you're talking about hotels, if you're talking about uh, retail stores, if you're talking about office buildings, or if you're talking about single residential homes, this is the season of highly motivated sellers. So, which has made me make this video for you guys to let you know that this is the season, this is the cycle, what I call subject to heaven, seller financing heaven. Now, the cycle is like this: when the market is going up and up and up, very small percentage of people are motivated. just that little percent, 10%. Okay. And out of that 10%, a small percentage of those sellers are going to be willing to do seller financing, owner financing. That's why it's the gold you have to dig for. That's it's like the pearl you have to search for. It's not every seller out there. However, as the market has gone up, and in 2019, when I let you guys know this is the very, very top, and now it's coming back down. As the market starts coming back down, and as further it goes down, more and more motivated sellers pool is going to grow. So if before we had 10%, maybe we have 30%, maybe we have 40%, depends on what kind of meltdown it is, right? And out of that percentage, out of that pool of motivated sellers, because the rest of the people are not motivated, out of that pool, now you have a bigger chunk that's willing to do seller financing. I don't care if you're talking about hotels, commercial, or if you're talking about apartment complex, or if you're talking about actual residential homes, condos, lands, mobile homes, whatever. So as the market goes up, there's less and less motivated sellers. As the market comes down, which is the season we're in right now, there's going to be more and more and more motivated sellers. And in that pool of more and more motivated sellers, there's going to be more and more and more sellers that are willing to do owner carry. They're willing to do seller financing. They're willing to do subject to. Now, some people are asking, well, Mike, what is the difference between seller financing and a subject to? Well, they're very similar. They're very, very similar. But the difference is simply put that if I meet a seller and they have a mortgage on their home, then I'm going to do a subject to because they have a mortgage. All I could do is just take over their payments. If I meet a seller and they own their house clear and clear, then that's what I call direct seller financing because so both of these are seller financing. Now there's like 7 different types of seller financing. If you want to learn about all of them, just go to mrnofluff.com, click on my blog and type in 7 types of owner financing. I break it down because it's like a species, right? There's many different types of categories of animals in that species. Same thing with seller financing. But if the seller has a loan, I call it straight seller financing. If they don't have a loan, I call it straight seller financing. If they have a loan, I just call it subject to. Either way, they're under the parenthood of owner financing, seller financing. And now we're at the season, we're at the peak cycle, where I can't say the peak, but we're getting to the peak cycle of the red line, the beginning of the red line, like a car, right? When you red line it, this is the beginning of it, but you still have so much more. And as we red line it to the very end, more and more motivated sellers are going to come. Now, people say, well, why is 2020, 2019, 2021 going to be the season of motivated sellers, the season of subject to heaven, the season of seller financing, owner financing, lease options, and all that creative stuff? Well, it's pretty simple. Distress, motivated Americans, but not only in America, but all over the globe, from Great Britain to UK to Canada. Real estate is in a massive bubble. And in the next 5 to 18 months, we're going to see major uh, price cuts. And as home prices start to fall, as bankers pull in their reserves and they're not going to lend anymore because they have to buckle it up for all the foreclosures and defaults are going to be happening, there's going to be less money in the market. And as inventory hits up, less money, prices will come down. As prices will come down, more and more people will have what I call negative, marginal, or no equity. They're going to have, again, negative equity, no equity, or marginal equity. And by the time they pay the closing costs, which is usually 10%, 6% for realtor, 3% for title policy, and the attorney fees and all the junk fees that go into getting a home, and then you're still going to have some money that needs to be done for post inspection repairs. When you add all that stuff up, is roughly about 10%. It can be more. Okay, these sellers are going to have to come out money out of pocket to sell their homes. And there's going to be 3 types of sellers that are going to be super, 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 duper, duper, duper motivated. Okay. They're going to have no equity, zero equity, or marginal equity. All right. Now, there are going to be sellers out there that own the house free and clear, and they're going to be super motivated too. But the people that are going to be by default the most motivated ones, the lowest hanging fruit, as they say in America, are the people that are going to have zero equity, marginal equity, and negative equity. Because these types of home sellers, which is the majority of people that bought homes recently with FHA, VA loans, I would say the past 5, 6 years, they're going to be highly upside down because they bought their home highly leveraged. And now, as the market's inventory builds up, as prices come down, as banks don't lend, what's going to happen is this: they're not going to be able to sell their home, and they're going to have to dip into their savings. They're going to have to dip into their 401s if they want to, not have a foreclosure on their account. And many of them are not going to want to do that, right? Many of them are not going to want to do that. A, they don't have the money, or B, they don't want to put good money on bad money because their homes are now upside down. Who knows? 20 grand, 50 grand, depends on the size of the home. Okay. And some of these sellers are going to be super motivated, and they're going to say, "Look, Mike, just take over my payments, dude. I just want to save my credit. And no, I don't want to bring $50,000 to closing. Hey, Mike, just take over the payments. Hey, Mike, I own my house free and clear, but if I sell it with a realtor, I have to get a haircut for 40% off, but I'm willing to sell it to you for 80% off, like, I mean, 20% off, and I'll become your bank. Or I'm willing to sell it to you for 90% versus 100%, and I'll become your bank. I'll do a 0% interest, non-recourse loan. So there's a lot of benefits for sellers that own the house free and clear to get higher price, but not get all the money today, which is great for me because I don't have to give them all the money. I'll get a non-recourse loan. The seller will become my private bank. It's not going to go on my social security. It's not going to go on my company EIN number, which is amazing, because I get a free home. So the cycle, as the markets go up, there's going to be less and less motivated sellers, and for sure, way less and less subject to deals. 2016, there was subject to deals out there. There was very, very little, right? Because sellers can just sell with a real estate agent, and there was tons of wholesalers that were promising the world. But as the markets come down and down and down, which is the phase that we're in, there's going to be more and more and more and more and more motivated sellers out there that are willing to do seller financing. That's why in 2016, if you haven't watched my video that I predicted it, I said gold was the play, and I said that real estate, I'm out. And I said that the next crash that's going to come, which is right now, is going to be a subject to heaven. If you haven't watched those videos, go check it out, guys. It's like 3, 4 years ago that I predicted this stuff, and boom, we're here. I think someone left a message about gold is shooting up of 2,000 bucks. Right, it says 2K gold. That's right, man. Gold is over 2,000 bucks. I posted it on my Facebook, my Instagram. Guys, if you're not in the free Facebook group, what I call the real estate discussions, go to mrnofluff.com. At the very top, click there. It's totally for free. I'm active there. Um, we can interact, rub shoulders, shake hands, and get involved in the discussions. If you haven't downloaded my free real estate book, where I teach you how to find motivated sellers, I teach you how the whole business in a free book instead of charging you for it. Go to mrnofluff.com and then click on the free book to download it. Okay. The other thing is, guys, if you need help in real estate, if you need help finding these subject to deals, owner financing deals, how to find them, how to talk to them, what paperwork to use, how to negotiate, learn about the mistakes, the pitfalls, then I have three options for you. For $47 a month, you can join my academy. You get access to my best-selling courses plus monthly coaching. The other option is if you already have a successful business, then you should consider joining my profit sharing. I'll work with you one-on-one, and I'll split the profits of one deal, which means I'll put everything into it for us to do this one deal together and split the profits. It's 3K for 1 month of coaching. On top of that, you get $9,500 of business tools that you need, from your own website to your own marketing materials to so many different things. It's hard to say it all here. Just go check it out at mrnofluff.com. And if you wanted to meet with me every Saturday right from your computer, join my mastermind um, mentorship program that I have called the Abundance Club, then you should join right now at the abundanceclub.mrnofluff.com. We meet right from your computer. I answer every and all your questions about real estate, about what's working. And on top of that, I'll be bringing you information about what's working in the trenches for me. Okay. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Click the like button. Share this message. Let me know if you're finding motivated sellers in your neck of the wood. If not, reach out to me. Let me help you get these motivated sellers, because they're everywhere, guys. As time goes on, more and more motivated sellers are coming. People are running out of the business, which is a great sign for me to be a real estate investor. Peace, guys.